All right, so we're going to move on today to multiplying binomials. And we're going to realize that we can use the area model, which is pretty much the area of rectangles, to help us evaluate these or simplify these. Okay, so let's start by making sure you have your Desmos calculator open. And let's do some areas. So I know that when I am solving the area of a rectangle, the area is the base times the height or the length times the width, depending on how I want to see it. So I know I have to take 5 times 4. Well, that's 20. That's 20. So if I have to find the area of this, that means I have to multiply these two, which means I have 2x parenthesis x plus 2. Well, that is exactly what we've been doing for the last couple days. So 2 times 3, that's a 6, and 1 and 1 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4, and I have an x. So I have 6x squared plus 4x. That is the area of my box. Okay, go ahead and hit pause. See if you can do the next one. All right, so I went ahead and wrote that as a distribution. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 12. X and x is x squared. And a negative 16x. So I have 12x squared minus 16x. That's the area. All right, now let's talk about binomials. So binomials, okay, if you remember, binomials means 2. So we have 2 terms in our parentheses. So we are going to use the area model to multiply binomials. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write x plus 5 x minus 2. And notice how I'm keeping my signs, okay? You really need to focus on keeping your signs. It will make your life so much easier because we have to combine like terms. And then we're going to multiply, okay? So I'm going to find the area of this box. So x times x, well, that's x squared. That's x squared. All right, now we're going to multiply to get this box. So I'm going here and here. So negative 2 times, that's a 1, times x is a negative 2x. Keep your signs, okay? Keep your signs. Remember, there's a 1 here, so now I'm going to go here and here. So 1x times positive 5, that's a positive, not 1x, 5x. And last but not least, oops, let me get back to my right screen here. Last but not least, I need to pull my last term, which is the positive 5 times the negative 2, which is going to give me a negative 10. Okay? Now, what I want you to see is right here on the diagonal. So right here in the middle is a giant plus sign. Okay? There is a giant plus sign right here. And I see that on the diagonal, those are like terms. Okay? Those are like terms. So my answer is going to pull out like this. So I'm going to pull out my x squared. So this top number comes out. Okay? Then I'm going to add these middle terms. So 5 plus negative 2 is a positive 3x. 5 plus negative 2. Remember, use your calculator to help you. So 5 plus negative 2 is a negative 3. Or sorry, it's a positive 3. Okay, and then my last term comes from here. This one just drops. So x squared plus 3x minus 10. I'm done. Okay, I'm done. So I just multiplied 4 times, and then I'm going to add those middle terms. All right, let's look at this next one. So 3x plus 5, a negative 2x minus 2. Okay, a negative 2x minus 2. All right, let's go ahead and multiply these two. So 3 times negative 2 is a negative 6 and an x squared. Now we're going to go here. 3 times negative 2, that's a negative 6 and 1x. All right, now I'm going to go here. So 5 times negative 2 is a negative 10x. And last but not least, I'm multiplying the 5 and the negative 2, and that's a negative 10. So again, on the diagonal, there is a giant plus sign. Pull out the negative 6x squared. A negative 10 plus a negative 6 is a negative 16x and minus 10. Okay, go ahead and hit pause. See what you can do with these. Come up with your answers. Remember, the giant plus sign is in the middle, and make sure and watch your signs. And it doesn't actually matter which one I write on the left and which one I write on the top. I usually write the left one on the left side and the right one on the top side. But it actually doesn't matter. I can flip those around. I could very easily do the x plus 5, the x minus 1 that way. It doesn't matter, okay? So go ahead and get started. I'll catch up with you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep my left side the same, move my 1 to the top. So that would be a 1x squared if I put the 1 in there just to make sure that I'm understanding what's happening. A 1 times a 5 is a positive 5x. A 1 times a negative 1 is a negative 1x, and a negative 1 times 5 is a negative 5. Remember, keep your signs, okay? Keep your signs. Remember, we're adding on the diagonal. So 1x squared we start with. Negative 1 plus 5 is a positive 4x, and minus 5 pulls out. Okay, z plus 3, z plus 4. Let's add some 1s. So we have 1z squared plus 4z plus 3z plus 12. And again, I am adding on the diagonal. So 1z squared, or just z squared, plus 7z plus 12 plus 12. 1c minus 2 and 1c minus 7. So 1c squared minus 7c. Oop, that needs to be a minus. Got to watch our signs here. Minus 2c, and negative is a positive 14. So again, adding on the diagonal, my 1c squared pops out. Negative 2 plus negative 7 is a negative 9 and a positive 14. So c squared minus 9c plus 14. And this one's got a few extra numbers, so 5k plus 2, 4k minus 3, so that's going to be a 20k squared. Remember, we're talking about these two. And 5 times negative 3 is a negative 15k. And positive 2 times 4 is a positive 8k. And positive 2 times negative 3 is going to be a negative 6. Again, you're combining on the diagonal. So these are the ones we're looking at. So 20k squared pops out. 8 minus 15 is a negative 7k, and a minus 6. A minus 6. All right, let's see what you can do with today's homework. Make sure you show your work and reach out to us if you're struggling.